Hello everyone. Welcome to Teletech Data Analysis Free 4 Weeks with Adventure Training Program. I'm Mrs. Sonia Akitunde Eke. I'll be your guide and your instructor for the next 4 weeks. Think of this as the beginning of a road trip. Today, we are packing our bags with the basics before we step into the world of data. Let me quickly walk you through with a story. Years ago, a small shop owner, like a store owner, started making sales and he started just think of, okay, let me start writing the records of my sales. He does not know he was storing data. He thought he was just writing anything, just the sales record down. But when he finally added them up, he did the plus and minus, and he realized that okay, you only make sales on Fridays. And then he thought of stocking up ahead of the weekend, and the sales and his profits doubled. And that was when he realized the power of the data analysis and what data can do. That is the power of the data, basically. And that's when you learn what you are here to learn, how you are going to turn your data into raw facts and your raw facts into decisions and actionable insights. So about this course is a 4 weeks training. It's going to be 100% virtual. And at the end, you are going to be certified with a certificate that can stand you out among your peers. This course is designed for anyone, whether you're a student, a worker, an entrepreneur, or imagine you are running whatever you are doing, you are managing a school, running a bakery, even if you are tracking your personal experience, you are at the right course. This is what you are supposed to start learning from now. So data analysis applies everywhere. Over the next 4 weeks, we will move from simple concepts into practical skills. And by at the end of this course, you have the certificate that will prove you to handle your data like a pro. What you learn in the next 4 weeks, 4 weeks rather. So you are going to learn the introduction to data and analytics, the Excel and Google Sheets. Then we'll clean messy data. That is what we call data cleaning, like tidying up a clustered room with the help of data cleaning formulas and functions. Then we are going to build an interactive dashboard that will tell what the stories in your data is. Will help you to tell it visually. Then you create some pivot tables and data dashboard creation. Then finally wrap it up with Power Query introductions. So each step of this outline is just like you are unlocking a new level in a game, and by the end you'll be ready to play at industry level. Quote me. Then this is the focus of week one. What you have to understand about data and why data actually matters. Data means raw facts, observations, or measurements. For example, exam scores, purchases, temperature, social media, and the likes. Anything you can think about is what data is. And data becomes information once you analyze and interpret it. Without analysis and interpretation, it is still at the data level. You can just call it data. But once you have done the data cleaning and data analysis, the interpretation makes it information. And data helps so many organizations. It helps you understand your customer behaviors, like the increase in sales. It helps to prevent fraud and improve sales operations. Data can be used to make adequate predictions ahead of any occurrence. And finally, it is no news that data is new oil in town now, and it helps analysts extract facts and values from reliable figures. Sorry. So we have types and classifications of data. These are the types of data we have. We have qualitative data, quantitative data, structured data, semi-structured and unstructured data. The qualitative data is just like a categorical data, like a non-numerical data. A non-numerical data. You can call it a categorical data as well. Just like those attributes, those those values that are non-numerical, that cannot be measured numerically, like color. Let me say you want to get data about a particular person now. So you can get the person's skin complexion, their eye color, the ear color, the gender, and all those things that cannot be measured numerically. Those are qualitative data. But quantitative data are numerical. Any attributes, any variables of your or any quality of the variables you want to get that can be measured numerically is called a quantitative data, like age, salary, price, scores, mention it. Once it can be measured numerically, it's a quantitative data. We have structured data too, like tables and spreadsheets. And also we have semi-structured data. Assuming you want to get a data from someone or you want to interview your respondents and you now recorded what that person is saying. That is an unstructured data, like images, audios, or text. You understand? So it is essential for you to know what types of data you are dealing with, and that will help you to determine and to decide what is the data analytical tools that you are going to use for that particular data. Now, what is data analytics? Data analysis is like a process, it's like a framework. Before you can go into your data analysis, there are some things you need to do ahead of data analysis, which is to collect your data. That is very, very essential. Because without data, you cannot analyze data. What do you want to analyze without data? So you collect your data, you process it. Under the data processing is what data cleaning hides and lies. Data cleaning, you clean your data thoroughly, you analyze it. Analysis is also part of data processing, and you interpret. Once you are done with your analysis, you can represent your data with visual maps, graphs, and and plots. So once you are done with that, you interpret your data. So the use of tools, process, and statistics to get your insight from data is what data analysis is. There are some types of data analysis that we have. We have descriptive, we have diagnostic, we have predictive, and we have prescriptive analytics. I will start by explaining what each of them stands for so that you will be able to understand them very well. Descriptive analysis is what queries, it measures what happened, like what actually happened. For example, now, we want to know, okay, there is a flood disaster in a particular area, and maybe we want to predict what is likely to happen in the future. But before then, you cannot just rush into prediction and prescription or to prescribe what can be done to stop such occurrence. You have to describe that event. You have to go into what the descriptive analysis is by querying what caused the disaster or the event. What actually caused it? Why has it happened? It was validated that okay, there was a flood occurrence. What caused it? You now want to run the analysis, but before then you need to get your data. You drafted the questionnaire and you distributed it among residents of that particular area. And you notice that majority, in fact more than 90% of the respondents agree that this flood actually always occurs when there is a high voluminous of rain. Do you understand? So you have been able to identify what happened. Okay, there was flood. What caused it? It's because once the rain is much, it happens between the month of June and September of every year, which is the peak rainy season. Okay, is it the rain that caused flood? Why is it that once it rains, flood will occur? And that is when you now realize that okay, many of the residents feel that the draining condition is bad. There is need for deforestation and that river basin. So and then you have been able to identify the problem that okay, we have to improve the draining condition of that area. We have to make the deforestation. We have to do so many things. We have to tell the community and all stakeholders to stop dumping refuse in the river basin. And that is where you have carried out your descriptive analysis. Now, moving down to diagnostic. Diagnostic will now tell you why did it happen. Okay, we have known what happened, that okay, flood happens and it happens between the month of June and September of every year. Why did it happen? It happened because the draining condition of that community is bad. because the community used to dump refuse inside the river basin, because of this, because of that, and that is diagnostic. We have been able to know why it happened. Then you move to predictive. Predictive will now tell you that if this act continues, there is likely occurrence of flood every month or every 6 months or every year in that particular area. That is predictive. Or okay, if this act continues, if there is no stop to this act, I'm 95% confidence sure, or I'm 95, I have 95% confidence that flood will continue to happen year in, year out in that particular area. That is predictive. You cannot just decide that from your brain or from your head. You have to carry out some calculations and analysis to determine that, and your results will tell you what will happen. That is predictive analysis. Then prescriptive. Prescriptive will tell us what you are going to do. That is the recommendation. Once you are done with your predictive, which is the analysis and interpretation, then you prescribe. You recommend what and what the stakeholder, the community should do in order to avoid such occurrence in the nearest future. Part of the recommendation for that particular example I gave is for the citizens, residents that are staying near the river basin to evacuate with immediate attention before the next rainy season. So for the residents to stop dumping refuse inside the river basin, for the community to improve the drainage condition of that area, and so on and so forth. So basically, that is the workflow, the flowchart of the types of data analysis we have relevant examples. So it is the analysis is always is applicable everywhere. Mention is healthcare, finance, education, business, government, technology, and so on and so forth. So you are on the right track. Data analysis is very amazing, and you learn so many things that I bet you will never forget. You will forever appreciate what you are here to learn. Now, we have data analytics life cycle as well. Initially we discussed about the what data analytics is and the types, but now the life cycle. You want to analyze the data and what do you need to do? It is a process. You have to start from somewhere and you move to somewhere and you move to somewhere. You cannot just go and analyze your data. No. The first thing is to collect your data. You can collect your data from surveys, from databases, from websites, and from sensors. From surveys, the example of the type of example I gave earlier is from surveys, whereby you draft your questionnaire, you give your respondent, and they will answer it, they will respond it to you. Another example is the sensors, whereby you count all the members of the population one after the other. Then we have database. Example of a database is like you all registered for this course now. You know that your response is going somewhere. That's where your responses are going is called database. I will just have to download that Excel document as database and create some research questions and carry out whatever analysis I want to carry out, then get my results and interpretation. Then you can get your data from websites. For example, I need a budget allocation for your state for 2024 and 2025. There are so many sites that would have uploaded that, like budgets and your state websites in particular. I can just go to their website and download the data, the sensors. Data cleaning, once you are done with your data, you cannot just analyze without cleaning the data, because that will give you so many errors. There are so many unwanted values in whatever data you have. So you have to correct those errors and remove so many duplicates, and you have to proper all those data so that the analysis will give you a meaningful results. The data analysis. This is where you use formula functions, SQL, pivot tables, and whatever to analyze the data. Once you are done with data analysis, you interpret, whereby you extract the meaning and from the raw data. That is what we call facts from reliable figures. The other data interpretation is when you get your facts from the figures in the data you collected initially. Then reporting. You report your data through dashboard, through visual representations and charts and all. So the major work of data analytics is data cleaning, because you have to spend a lot of time cleaning and cleaning, removing unwanted details about it, so that you can have a more precise and concise data for the analysis. This is the relationship, comparison between data analytics, data science, and Power BI. The data analysis that you are here for is to give insights and to solve problems about your data. The tools being used under data analysis is Excel, SQL, Power BI, we have R, we have SPSS, and so on and so forth. And this helps to report the details in the data and to create dashboards. Under data science as and data analysis is part of data science, but data science is more broader than data analysis. So under data science, we have machine learning and predictions, and this so the tools we use are like Python, R, TensorFlow, and this is used for predictive models. For this course, the main frame, the main this thing for this course is data analysis, whereby you learn so many things about data analysis. Because once you are back for the advanced course, you will learn the amazing work that Python does, that data science does. We can use to predict so many things. Can use Python, R, TensorFlow for your machine learning models and predictions. Then business intelligence. This is also very an amazing tools. Can use Power BI and Tableau. These two tools, Power BI and Tableau, gives beautiful dashboards about your data that you cannot even be able to resist. So then it helps with visualization and reporting. Whereby you create dashboard and you report. So I hope you all will, after this data analysis, you are all going to enroll for the advanced class, so you enjoy the benefits and you see the amazing work all these tools do. Then I hope you have been able to understand the basic concept of data and data analysis and the comparison between data analytics, Power BI, and the data science. Now, I want you to work on to define what data analytics is using your own words, based on what you have comprehended from what I've just explained. Then you identify the three qualitative and quantitative data examples. You explain the difference between structured and unstructured data and give real-world example where data analysis can be applied. The submission platform will be sent to via the class WhatsApp platform or whatever platform you are. So I want you to submit before the next class. And coming next week, we are going to place our hands on practice with Excel. We are going to delve deeper on Excel and Google Sheets. You learn how to organize raw data, how to clean and analyze data perfectly. And you are going to work on a real-world data set that you use to create your first dashboard. Are you ready to go on with this learning with me? So get ready for your first practical learning on data analysis. Thank you for joining Teletech Data Analysis Virtual Training. To remember that this is a 4 week class and we have just completed our first week. I will implore you to stay curious, keep practicing, we shall see next week. Thank you for your time. Bye bye.